MTP bill?
Medical practitioner
Up to
16 weeks.
16 weeks. Okay.
20
weeks. That is first of only one of
Uh-huh.
from when
So this is PRS summary, right? This is PRS summary of Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. So the first and foremost thing that we need to understand is currently abortion requires opinion of one doctor within 12 weeks and two doctors up to 20 weeks. That has been extended up to one doctor till 20 weeks. Okay, still 20 doctors, sorry, 20 weeks you need one doctor, 20 to 24 two doctors, and beyond 24 a state level medical board, right? So again, this is an article in today's The Hindu. Yes, as I told you, there is a criticism in The Hindu today, but what is there in the bill is more important for your prelims point of view and mains point of view also. It's not something new, right? PCP and DT Act has been asked both in prelims and mains. Direct question has been asked in about PCP and DT Act in mains itself. So it's not a huge surprise that if you see the similar question in mains. And again, you are still preparing in that assumption that I will see the option and I will remember. Okay, the other day I showed you Arunachal Pradesh, right? All the four options started with Arunachal Pradesh. If you go, okay, whatever will be Arunachal Pradesh, I will put that option. If you use your smartness, UPSC will outsmart you. You will have a lot of problems. See, when you prepare in this fashion, when you can recollect things without seeing the options, you can write mains answers. Then if you see the question in the prelims, it's easy for you to eliminate. Yes or no? Right? Now, yes. Again, this is one important line that you need to understand. The only recourse is judicial solution, not a board. And as the article itself says, there is 75% shortage of specialists and gynecologists. That is also a huge problem. If you cannot constitute a board in the right time, only cases will increase. That is violation of Article 21 again. Yes or no? So that is the beauty of Article 21, right? It's so vast and huge. If you take away Article 21, it's like taking away all the life from Constitution. So all these acts, everything can be justified using Article 21. It's that important. Okay. Next, you can. I have shared this article earlier also, but you can understand the differences, right? Two doctors up to 24 weeks, then beyond 24 weeks, medical board. Number of doctors are less in India, as all of you know. So it's a huge problem for the country. Yes. So please make sure you read this document again and again. Sorry, yeah. Now, why are we discussing this? So we can expect two things. One is abortion is a woman's right to decide. The three things, right? One is society, the other one is governance, and the last one is applied ethics. Applied ethics. Is it moral or not? Abortion is moral or not? So if you take part A, like the heading, women's right to decide. Okay, autonomy over her choices, her body, her decisions, right? It is she who will be giving birth to a child. So everything is up to her, not anyone else. Yes, we can look it in from that perspective. The other one is paternalistic or welfare oriented state, and the last one is applied ethics. So am I seeing it from religious perspectives? Did Victorian era laws creep into the moral standards of the society? Why is abortion, if someone does a mistake, why do we look down upon them? Yes. So there is a fact here, right? Even today there are around 8 lakh illegal and unsafe abortions that are happening. Yes. See, it doesn't mean everybody is doing a wrong thing and they are getting pregnant and something. Even normal happily married life people are also going through illegal or unsafe abortions. There are so many things, but why should someone else decide what is to be done and what is not to be done? And why can't unless up to a particular time a normal specialist like gynecologist cannot go for abortion? Yes, so these are the applied ethics. There is a concept called as applied ethics. You will apply the ethics onto a particular issues. Yesterday I told you, right? Ethics. So abortion, euthanasia, terrorism, gene editing, and all these things are considered as applied ethics. Now, and again, directly straitjacketed, we cannot bring a Western philosophy or Western thought process or Western standards and fit it to India, right? India is unique because of socio-cultural and economic reasons. So culturally we are so diverse that do you think one straitjacketed approach will fit the entire bill? Yes, that is one thing. And are we being patriarchal here, or is it being protective? If a mains question comes in these three perspectives, you should have a answer. Now, according to government, it is doing the right thing. That is, it has extended the number weeks of abortion, right? It is not asking you to do extraordinary things. If one or two doctors will concur, then you can go for safe abortion. Only beyond 24, it has become something of a controversial issue. So this particular article criticizes very heavily the last part, that is beyond 24 weeks. A medical board has to be appointed. The privacy of that person is violated, and only when the there is a fetal abnormality or there is some issue to the child or the mother, only then the board will progress. So it's the decision of the board, not the woman. Now, what are the pros and cons of this? So they are like outrightly criticizing the government. The government seems to be incompetent to understand a woman's right over her own body. But government is also a product of the society. Does the society understand it? Yes. We are in a society where the victim is blamed. Victim blaming is a very common thing. If a rape happened, if something happened, who will be blamed first? The victim. Who told you to go out in that particular time? So on and so forth. Yes.
So at one point they're criticizing the provisions of the article. Would you think that this article or this act acts like a deterrent for the people?
For what? Deterrent for what?
Illegal stuff, what are those things that are happening?
A 18-year-old woman wants to have sex with someone. Okay, the contraceptives did not work. She got pregnant. Okay, why should it be a state's concern?
But then the unborn baby is the subject of the state. So state also has a duty to protect them. So
It is I who will be delivering the baby, right? So it's my choice whether to give life to that baby or not.
but then even the baby has some rights, right?
How? We did not come to that conclusion.
The baby is a citizen of India. Right?
How?
Citizenship Act.
After giving national population register, right? Not Aadhaar card. If there is no provision of registering Aadhaar when you are in the mother's womb,
But Aadhaar is not a proof of state.
then that is what I am criticizing.
So this act is not itself is there then.
Then what will happen? Do you think morals of the society will fall down? I'm asking you hypothetically. Yes, see, again, it's a discussion, right? Do you think this is the only act that is keeping the morals? Is Indian moral that weak? That a medical termination and pregnancy act is keeping the women of India under check? That is exactly the article criticizes, right? That is a mindset probably we have to criticize. Yes, Sharath?
So it is not the woman which this act is trying to keep in check, because in general, women had less rights in deciding for the baby.
So you think this article is about the baby,
Yes, I mean,
not the woman? That is your summary. Okay. No, I'm asking you. That is your understanding. I haven't seen this act in that light.
I mean, considering the case of female feticide which happened
Have you ever heard? Okay, so hypothetically, I will entertain your idea. Okay, how do I take the consent of the baby? Till 5 years or 18 years? 18 years, till the baby reaches the 18 years, I will ask you, your mother wanted to kill you in the womb. Are you okay? Yes. Then can I shoot him? No. At what age do I get the consent of the baby? You know, going by that standard, we are not supposed to eat eggs, right?
It's from the annual thing we have developed it's sanity for the life such that
Hmm.
when unborn baby is so clean and is well.
What about the person living? So, right?
But the present situation is that the woman who is delivering the baby is being neglected actually. Her rights are also being neglected. So there must be a concern for both and a balance should be drawn between the both. Like her consent is utmost important. Like when she will deliver the baby and she is the one who need to take care of the baby. So it is ultimately her to decide upon to deliver the baby or not. But keeping it to within the constitutional limit like 20 to 24 weeks, like it at least helps him checking the things like regarding the medical things, like if at all if she needs any help from the doctors regarding the pregnancy, she might be unaware of the things like ramifications what will happen in the future, or it may hurt herself. So state should come in, should intervene in that aspect, but it should not intervene whether she can she can whether deliver the baby or not. It should be solely upon her to decide whether she can deliver it or not.
So 24 weeks is what?
Like up to which the pregnancy can
Yes, 6 months, right? It's 6 months into the pregnancy. By 6 months, you actually have a lot of time to think upon, right? It's not like you came to realize that you are 6 months pregnant overnight, right? By default, you will know that you are pregnant after a point of time. So, in that sense, we cannot blame that government. That government is giving the last minute call. So, you had ample 6 months of the time for you to decide. So, see, till 6 months, you have the choice only to convince 2 doctors or to talk to 2 specialists. Okay, only after 6 months, see the weeks drama will be critical, very critical of the government as well, right? So after 6 months only government is involving the medical board. Okay, so from that point of view also we have to think about it. Again here the consent of the baby doesn't come into the picture. Please remember. Yes or no? Again it's a tricky area. How? For example, if I want to go for gene editing, I came to know that the baby is having a genetic problem. Yes, her or his heart valves have some problem. So genetic editing will solve that. Okay, in that case, I am okay to go for gene editing because still there is no consent of the baby. Here I am taking a greater cause, greater good. The same fetus or the same baby, when it comes to pregnancy, I have serious issues with that. Yes or no? We are talking about the same person. So it's a relativism rather than objectivism. I hope you understand. That is why I have brought in that particular consent concept, because baby's consent is not available. So in certain cases we come to a general understanding, if it is a genetic defect, we can go for editing without the consent. But if it comes to abortion, probably we have no reservations. It's okay because it's the decision of the mother. But subjectively if you look at it, objectively if you look at it, at the end of the day it's the parents who will decide either for gene editing or abortion. So the baby's consent is near 0. Are we clear?
But sir,
Hmm?
two things. This act might actually stigmatize abortions more than empowering people to go. and-
That is already there, right? That is
Yeah, like the government's duty should be to not have that stigmatic view towards abortion rather than having a medical board involved or government involved in the.
So we will call this as compromise rather than a solution. This act is a compromise where till 24 weeks I am compromising to give you the benefit of doubt, the woman, because the privacy is not violated. Probably only the doctor will know.
Sir, 24 weeks is fine because after 24 weeks it might be fatal for both.
Both the-
parties.
yeah, exactly.
Before that also, like
Before
in a way,
that,
this is only going to help people who are married and not other.
see, that is what she argues, right? The only women of certain category will be permitted for the board, and we don't know that. Like the thing is, let's say single women or unmarried women, when all these people go to hospitals, already they are stigmatized. It's the part of the society, right? Law has nothing to do with it. Okay, maybe by extending it to 24 weeks, like till 6 months, your privacy is not violated to the level that it will be violated when it goes to the board. Okay, so in that way I will defend the government. And here our society already stigmatizes, right? It's by default, people, your relatives or somebody will talk, she was pregnant before her marriage. That's it, all the hell will break loose. Okay, so yeah.
The second thing is, won't this increase unsafe abortions more than what it is?
Oh.
Because regulation of over-the-counter things should be first brought in before you bring.
Again, see, as far as my understanding goes, when it comes to abortion, it is always advisable to go to the specialist, take her help, rather than go for self-abortions and all those things, which are very dangerous because of excessive bleeding. Lot of problems will be there. So here it's more of socio-cultural issue rather than the act, right? Act has nothing to do with the moment. See, the first thought, if I'm pregnant, how will I tell to someone? I don't have that system, that ecosystem. My parents won't understand. There is no ecosystem and there are no hospitals. So probably that awareness, that sensitization has to be done, and that like the specialist has to be celebrated rather than discriminated. So if the doctors are okay with it, if the gynecologists are more forthcoming, and if they are helping, and when the word is spread, like, okay, probably the stigma will go away. So I don't think the bill is directly reinforcing the stigma, right? So as I said, it's a delicate balance of compromise in the society, because we have to take Indian standards into consideration. Even if I, let's say, remove the entire thing, do you think the stigma will go away? No, right? Yes. And do you think with or without this act, people will stop doing what they are doing? That is also one innocent assumption, right? Yes or no? No? Yes? Vallabh? So you basically believe that Indian values are upheld in this particular act.
I felt deterrent for the 24 weeks.
Again, you are not understanding. 24 weeks means 6 months. Only when you have extreme abnormalities, you will go to the board, or else the court will say nothing doing, you deliver the baby.
In the case of Savita Halapnavar in Ireland,
That is a total different issue, right? That is based on purely religious beliefs. She was not, the operation was not conducted on her because of the religious beliefs. The law of the land says no abortion. And the law came from where? The morality of the society. Only when she died, the entire country came up in arms. Then they amended the law, right? They didn't even allow her to move out of the country to be aborted elsewhere. So that is applied ethics. Being a Christian dominated country, their belief is abortion is wrong. Okay, so they made it into a law. In India, we are using rationality rather than religion, right? If I say, Bhagavad Gita said don't go for abortion, then something that is very wrong. Here I am using rationality rather than anything else. And with or without this act and all those things, patriarchy is so deeply rooted, we by default consider that if a woman is going for abortion, her character is weak. And we stigmatize. That is why there is a beautiful line in Peaky Blinders. There is a show called as Peaky Blinders. There is a name for the child. There is a name for the woman. But there is no name for the man who doesn't come back. Okay, the child is called as bastard. The woman is called as whore. Right? But there is no name for the man. Without a man, do you think abortions will happen? Like pregnancy will happen. So that tells that we are patriarchal in mindset, right? You understand it? Yes. See, society stigmatizes you in the words they choose. Bastards. Who are bastards? People who are born out of love. Yes. But the thing is, it's a stigma. The moment I call you a bastard, it tells that you don't know your father is. Yes. And the woman is called as whore. Because of she getting into pregnancy before the marriage. But who did it? What is the name for that person? Because it is a man's society, we never chose a word for him. He is the worst of the three. Yes, and being a man, I can tell you that much. Yes. Again, see, yes, any questions?
So, question like abortion is moral or not?
We will discuss it in applied ethics, right? And that is something that cannot be settled. It's always relative. Yes or no? See, that is the thing, right? We developed science and everything to do what? To protect the woman and the child. Yes. So, for example, if you don't want to give abortion, will you take care of the baby for the rest of her life? Like, I don't want to give delivery. The court said no. Okay. After the birth, I will abandon him. It's your responsibility. Supreme Court has to raise him. Is it okay? Then I'm okay. Right? So there are a lot of ramifications and applications. We have to consider all these things. Yes. I don't see Supreme Court judges raising the kids. Yes. On one hand, it will be very, very difficult. Yes.
Maximum they can, like, the maximum they tell is like, if you don't want the baby, you can always
Give it to the social services.
but also if any woman does that, she again will be stigmatized.
Exactly. So again, see, the courts are not inhuman. They have even gone for abortion at the time of 31 weeks. So they do consider it. We cannot outrightly call the law as, immoral or taking away the woman's right to decide. As long as the society doesn't change, law cannot be applied. Even if the Parliament of India became overnight enlightened and brought a more liberal law, still, just like the LGBT thing, as long as society is not ready to accept that law, all these things will be only on paper. I hope you understand. Yes. So LGBT has changed, right? But still, at the ground level, society is nowhere closer to accepting that. So when let's say Government of India has liberalized the Medical Termination and Pregnancy Act, all their arguments are accepted and everything has been removed. Still, the society does not entertain that idea, or autonomy is not provided to women overnight. So more sensitization is required. More number of specialists like gynecologists has to be filled. Yes, and more discretion should be maintained, or call centers have to be established. I am having so and so problem. What is the best course of action? And follow-ups have to be done. So a person who a female who is going for an illegal or a unsafe abortion might get some professional help, right? So that should be the longer run solution, and slowly sensitization of the society. There is a recent good movie by in Tamil, I guess, Prakash Raj and what is her name? Fida heroine. Sai Pallavi and Prakash Raj. There is a very good family drama. Have you seen? Okay. So she gets pregnant out of love, right? She marries someone, then she comes back to her parents. So Prakash Raj is always feeling that anger towards her, like you have done something wrong, and she thinks because he's my father, he's continuously taking care of me. So it's a very good, beautiful story. Please watch that movie to understand the nuances of the society. Yes? Clear?
When they're talking about these all the acts, like they are aware only to the educated section of educated society. But what about the rest? Like most of the Indian society is
That is where the 8 lakh, see 8 lakh is official number. We know that unofficial number is
far beyond.
far beyond. So
So, like even making all this law, will it secure the position of a woman in the society?
see again, that is what I am telling you, right? For women to be empowered, even the most educated women within the cities are not totally aware of all the legal provisions, and they don't have the access, right? So that is where sensitization will come into the picture. If we start sensitizing using ASHA workers, right? Primary healthcare centers. For example, primary healthcare centers doesn't have specialists. Specialists are available only in district level hospitals and beyond. Even in the cities, you don't find specialists in every other hospital, right? Yes. So as you know, the rural or urban divide is heavily skewed towards urban centers. So rural areas totally have nothing to do. So even if I want to go for safe abortion, there is no specialist. Yes. So one of my friends who used to prepare for UPSC, he used to work in Kerala. He delivered around 800 babies. Like, so, that is something we have to understand. Because of lack of medical personnel, there is no human capital. So as long as you don't have the specialist, it will always be difficult for women to open up, right? So that sensitivity has to be brought into the society, only then things will change. So that is why when we increase our GDP from 1% to 2.3 or 2.5 to 3%, probably we'll get more specialists. Clear? So take this article with a pinch of salt. At the same time, don't blame the government in its entirety and understand the nuances. Society is where everything comes from. If the society changes, we actually don't need the laws also. I mean, we need to an extent, but not beyond. See, again, 6 months is a huge amount of time in pregnancy. You get to know a lot of things in the meanwhile. Again, consent wise, fetus consent is something very tricky and a controversial issue. There is no agreed consensus globally. There cannot be also, unless we develop some advanced science where we put some mission to the baby's brain and read the pulses, and if saying please don't kill me explicitly, then it's all subjective. Yes or no?
So, in the article, what we are actually arguing is the institutional abortion rather than the unhygienic one. But at the same time, when you go for institutional abortion, won't it like promote in a negative way the female infanticide and not?
I won't know the gender of the child, right? I just don't want to have the baby. Again, you can apply the PCPNDT Act, right? If you take the consent, like you came to know the gender, then you are going for abortion, then it is not safe. But if the fetus or some issue is there, that is what the doctor told you, or you decided not to have the baby, that is fine. When I don't know the gender, you cannot say it's female for.
And they have told 24 weeks, so by that time we get.
You won't know. The doctor will know, right?
How do we?
Separate. Again, PCPNDT Act is working fine, right? Doctors are scared to the death that they don't reveal the gender. So many Indian families don't know the gender of the children till you are born. So if you see Western countries, when they celebrate the blue cakes and the pink cakes and all these things, right? Yes. Even in my cousins have celebrated the same thing. So we know it's a common practice. But in India, after delivery, you will come to know that it's a boy or a girl. So probably it won't increase it. Yes. Again, please don't understand that Indian society's morals are based on laws. We have nothing to do with laws. We never respected laws. Yes or no? Don't you think with changing generation, changing moral values, people will go for more pregnancies, or all these things will only increase, not decrease? Yes or no? So probably in the olden days we never know. Now we have data. That is why we are thinking that society's morals are falling, or opportunities are.
Previously, our respect towards marriage as an institution was different.
Now, yeah,
We are liberalizing those developed.
out of the society. Marriage is just an option, right? Yes. Okay. But still movies are stuck there, right? Marriage is the ultimate aim of everything. No, Sharad? Don't want to get into the paper one society. Okay, fine. Not now. Controversial topics. Okay, fine. Now, how many of you know the meaning of core inflation? Yes, Sripada. 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 Okay, fine. She will beat me. Okay, yes.
Increasing the price of goods and services except food and petroleum.
Except food and petroleum products, if the prices are increasing, then it is core inflation. Is it true? Is it correct? First of all, you need to know, right? Okay. Yes, Vallabh, what is core inflation?
So rise in the commodity except food and
Rise in the price of the commodities except food and
Energy
or petroleum only. Diesel is fine.
energy.
Okay. So, how many of you know what are the types of inflation? What is skewflation? Skew, S-K-E-W, skewflation. Spiraling inflation. Hyperinflation.
increase the other goods.
is
Spiral.
increase of one good price will increase the price of other is spiral inflation. Okay, what is hyperinflation?
Very high increase
Very high increase
of prices.
of prices. To what extent? Recently, have any country been into hyperinflation? Recently, which country? Not recently, no. Is her definition of spiral inflation correct? Rising of prices of one goods will increase the prices of other goods. Is that spiral inflation? In India, what is the headline inflation we use? When you see headline inflation, this is called as headline. Okay, you know, right? These are called as headlines. H1, headline inflation. So that is why we call it as headline inflation. Yes? 4 plus or minus 2 is inflation targeting, right? That is not headline inflation. CPI combined is headline inflation. Yes? So,
CPI itself has food and fuel, right?
sorry?
So it's not exactly headline or something.
The moment you say inflation in India, whatever you take as inflation is called as headline inflation. In India, we use CPIC. When government says inflation is increasing, what does it say? CPIC only?
CPI also calculates in the amount of food and fuel.
I'm not talking core, right? I moved away from core. You stuck with core. Okay, so headline, when government say inflation is increasing, it is not talking about WPI, it is talking about CPIC. As simple as that. That is why it is called as headline. Something which you see in the newspaper is headline, right? So what inflation? CPIC. Yes, the target is, as she has mentioned, 4 plus or minus 2. It can be anything. It doesn't have inflation targeting. See, there is a book called as Ramesh Singh. There is a chapter called as Inflation and Business Cycle, probably 7th chapter in Ramesh Singh. You can open it and read the definitions. They are typical prelims questions. Spiral inflation is rise of wages pulling the prices. What is spiral? It can be like 2 ways, right? Technically speaking, see, prices are 110 rupees. Inflation has increased. So what will you do? You will go to your boss and say, please increase my wages. When your boss increases the wages, he increases for everyone. The entire economy wages have increased because inflation has increased. So when everybody have more money, what will do? It will drive prices. That will lead to inflation. So again you will do what? Wages. Now you put a spiral. One thing drives the another thing, like the cyclone. So inflation led to wages, wages led to inflation, inflation led to wages. So the more the inflation goes, the more wages you demand. The more wages you have, more inflation, more wages. So it's like a spiral staircase, right? One thing led to another. That is why it is called as spiraling inflation. Economy is as simple as that. All you need to do is use 100 rupees and a simple examples. Yes or no? What is Qflation? What she told is Qflation. I don't think so.
Only particular community.
Bottleneck more or less leads to skewflation. Hyperinflation was recently, just 1 month ago in Venezuela. They're issuing $1 billion note. Yes, $52 billion note or something. So they are issuing such kind of huge amount of notes which is less than $1 in US terms. Right? So hyperinflation automatically becomes important. So a prelims question might come. Recently, which country gone through hyperinflation? Venezuela. You need to know the definitions. There are 4 or 5 types of inflations, and if you don't know the meanings, then what is the point of reading economy? Headline inflation is the same thing, something which you see in the news, which is CPI combined. That is what you see in the country. Yes or no? So whenever I talk about inflation, this is what I am talking about. Yes? Please read the basics Perfectly. Basics are going to save you. There should not be any ambiguity. After 1.5 years of your preparation, if you can't recollect all the types of inflations, don't you think there is some flaw in the preparation? Yes. So deconstructing declarations of carbon neutrality. So a prelims question can be expected, like 3 statements will be given. Which of these describe the carbon neutrality? They will give you 4 or 5 definitions and they will say this is in the context of, or this is a definition of. I think in 2017 they have given a definition of Internet of Things. They have given a huge description and they asked which one of the following option closely suits Internet of Things, right? So carbon neutrality and negative carbon emissions are 2 different things. Carbon neutrality and negative carbon emissions are 2 different things. Negative carbon footprint is different from carbon neutrality. Is there any country in the planet with negative carbon neutrality, carbon emissions? Bhutan have negative carbon emissions. Okay. Neutrality, Germany is probably carbon neutral, or it is trying to plan to go for carbon neutral. So what is difference between carbon neutral and negative carbon emissions? Who will tell me? Who wants to answer? Chakri? What is carbon neutrality? So in the simplistic terms, to understand that article, what do you need to know? Right? So if we are releasing emissions on a daily basis globally, okay, if I release X number of things, then probably I will reach this limit by 2030 and this by 2035. So on present day, if X is the amount of emissions that I am releasing, then by 2030 I will breach the 1.5 degree temperature limit, and by 2035 the planet will be 2 degrees warmer in comparison to pre-industrial levels. Okay, the planet will be warmer in pre-industrial levels. Okay, so now what am I suggesting? I am saying net neutrality. That means as of today, 2021 only, right? Yes. So 2021, as of today I am releasing X number of emissions, okay, carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. By going carbon neutrality, let's say in today only we decided to go for carbon neutrality in entire planet. That means whatever I am releasing, I am also absorbing. That doesn't mean I am not polluting the planet. That doesn't mean it won't still lead to the destruction of the planet. Yes or no? If I am releasing 10 tons of carbon dioxide per day throughout the planet, still I am releasing the 10 carbon units, right? So 10 I am releasing, 10 I am absorbing. So I am still doing the damage to whom? To the planet. Yes or no? Still rains will be erratic. Still climate change will happen. And one day if I decide to go for 11 instead of 10, it will still create a lot of havoc. So I might slow down the entire timeline, but still I am destroying the planet. So net carbon neutrality is whatever I am releasing, I am absorbing back. Negative carbon neutrality is I am having more absorption capacity than releasing capacity. So this is where the planet has to move towards. So this article is very, very critical that India should not join this agreements. The entire planet is moving towards carbon neutral status. Yesterday also there is an article by Mukul Sanwal, right? So he literally lambasted the entire argument. The same is true. But one read between the lines in the entire article is this: at nowhere we are actually moving towards reduction of emissions. All the technologies we are using or all the things we are using is still going to only increase the carbon emissions but not reduce. So even if we go in the present trajectory, we are never going to achieve 1.5 or 2 degrees. So planet is literally doomed unless we increase our efforts towards carbon neutrality at the same time and negative carbon emissions. Both the things are equally important. So it's a self-explanatory article. We have discussed this concept multiple times. The thing is, India or developing countries are not destroying the planet at the rate that America is or China is destroying. So we cannot be tagged with them and ask the same burden to be borne. They are the major polluters, we are not. At the same time, we are not blind that, if we move towards carbon neutrality, planet will be reaching 1.5 degrees or 2 degrees. What are the problems? Climate change, food insecurity or food security will be there, climate refugees will increase. So all these things are anyhow are going to happen, right? But neutrality should be done to developed countries. Developing countries should be receiving the technological advantages and the money. So she calculates, right, going by the $30 per ton carbon dioxide, actually America owes $14 trillion to the rest of the planet. $14 trillion. Yes, that's 3 or 4 times more than Indian GDP itself. So that kind of amount has to be given to the developing countries like India so that we can move towards less carbon emissions or carbon neutrality or technologies which will drive less carbon emissions. If more cars are electric vehicles, probably we'll have less pollution. See, are we clear? Now, why is this a dangerous argument? The carbon neutrality argument is dangerous because it is not working on the principle of equity. It is not working on the principle of climate justice. What is climate justice? Are forgiven to the developed countries. Now Western countries are acting like they are saints. They are preaching the rest of the world, go for carbon neutrality. If you don't join carbon neutrality club, what will happen? You will be looked down upon. So their sins are whitewashed while our sins are highlighted. But what should be India's stand? We are trying our level best. Give us more money, give us more time, we will definitely move towards carbon neutrality. It's not like I'm saying I don't want to move. I will move, but I also have 1.5 billion population to feed. Their energy needs to fulfill and our economy to grow. For all these things to happen, I cannot do that without external support. So let's imagine 300 or 400 billion dollars flowing into developing countries like India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka to move towards renewable energy. Then yes, I will be happy to move. Yes or no? That CBDR, common but differentiated responsibilities, have to be celebrated and appreciated. Okay, as long as they don't do this and they say that carbon neutrality, what is there? I will also announce by 2090 India will be carbon neutral. Announcement is not a big deal, right? So if China is doing by 2060, we will always be 30 years behind China. 2090. Okay, so 2090 I will be carbon neutral. But what is happening here? We are whitewashing everything. We are not bothered about emissions. We are not bothered about the usage of energy by the developed countries. Yes, yesterday or today's article, the meat consumption comparison. Yesterday Mukul Sanwal article, right? So he says how much meat is consumed by person per average, like 4 kgs in India and more than 120 kgs in USA. So why is it a problem? Carbon emissions, right? To maintain that amount of capital, I am destroying the planet in a huge fashion. It has to drink water, eat grass, lot of mass has to be generated, then it is slaughtered. That is waste, highly inefficient. So Americans are living the luxurious life without paying any price. Today also they say the same thing, right? How much amount of carbon emissions are done by USA alone? So if we fall into this trap of carbon neutrality, what happened? All these things that are Americans will get to maintain their own lifestyle without having a iota of guilt. Forget about carbon emissions. It's like I'm not doing anything, right? We are good people. We are going for carbon neutrality without changing 1% in my lifestyle. Yes. So that is wrong. Clear?
So even if we force them to do so, like, will they change their lifestyle? Or else they increase the sequestration level?
So again, sequestration is not a no, not sustainable. It's not like empirical, right? We don't know. It's a hypothetical argument. It may or may not work, right? So we are assuming we are capturing the carbon and releasing it into shell or caves, etc. What if one day that carbon releases? If that escapes, what will happen? Okay, it's not like you are storing it in. Not every carbon is stored in rock format, right? So it is stored in semi-liquid format. If it releases, what will happen?
So, like, the SW article was talking about geoengineering, focus on geoengineering.
Geoengineering is not, see, that is the floated idea, that is the suggested idea. Geoengineering is the final solution, but we don't know the outcomes of geoengineering. Only 10 or 20 years down the line, we will probably realize it. And see, as long as I think there is geoengineering, what will I do? I will not be bothered about emissions, right? I will say, why do I need to plant trees when I have geoengineering? Bill Gates have invested in a factory, right? It will suck air out of the carbon dioxide out of the air, and it will store it in the caves. So Bill Gates is promoting that like anything. He even wrote a book recently. Okay, what if that idea fails? 10 years down the line. See, the long-term solutions are what? Plant more trees, change your lifestyles, behavioral changes, move towards vegetarianism. At least have vegetarian food every 3 days once, or alternative days. Yes, then what will happen? Meat consumption will come down. I am not imposing you on religious values, I am imposing you on rational environment for environment's sake. Yes, there is a documentary called as Home, HOME, 2009. Please watch that documentary. It's a very wonderful documentary. It tells you the amount of destruction we are doing by meat consumption. Yes, it tells you a lot of things. One is meat consumption. So we have to move towards wheat. So Indians can morally argue that is a false argument, right? India's current low carbon foot is the consequences of urban poverty and deprivation, not because of our virtue of sustainability. That is a beautiful line. Yes.
The concept of giving carbon credits. So can we use to promote like carbon neutrality and reduce carbon emissions?
Again, that is what the core of the argument is, right? As long as I think I have mechanism. Say I am a polluting industry. Delhi Metro is a clean industry. So I am purchasing carbon credits from Delhi Metro. So I am doing nothing wrong. You are absolving me of my crimes, right? It's a mechanism to tell how much carbon can be saved by moving towards technologies like Delhi Metro. But the thing is, for my industry, which is a pollutant industry, to move towards a clean energy, I need more money, more technology, more investment. That is not happening. That has to happen. Existing things can be done in a sustainable way, and how is that done? Through investment in technology. Yes. Yes, any questions? See, agriculture and transport are one of the largest pollutants, right? So we can make agriculture a sustainable method. Landfilling, food wastage. Every food item you throw is filled into the land. Yes, that leads to a lot of damage to the planet. Yes. So that is true, right? I mean, it's not like people won't use AC. People cannot afford AC. If more Indians can afford AC, they won't think twice to use it.
But it comes from the US standards of living.
Which one?
What we ought to live. We are trying to replicate the US standards of living. Like the fashion.
Why are we having an AC? Because I love USA. Or do I feel warm?
But like, when we are going for the goods which are purchasing, we are going for branded goods. which previously was not. Like when we are talking about Kali or indigenous youth, they don't have certain branding, but they come from a branded society, like a branded institution, but not a branded cloth per se. Like,
Hmm.
it's of some quality, but when we are talking about the US industries, they talk about like even the cloth quality is cheap, but it
See,
comes
from Bangladesh, it will go to US, it will get branded and come back to India, right? We know that. No, so how does that contribute to the global warming? My argument is the lifestyle is changing because I can afford the comfort. See, people used to travel in buses, right? Now they have the EMI scheme. They take a car. So it's not like I'm emulating someone. I prefer comfort over everything else. It's not like the brand has anything to do with it. It's more about my comfort, right? So the income of Indians is increasing right now. So that is why we feel like we are emulating USA. But the thing is, our parents' generation or their generation did not have the luxury of such extra money. Right now, more money is generated. We are feeling that more comfort. Yes. See, 5 years down the line, there is no Swiggy. 3 years down the line, 2016 also there was no Swiggy, right? What we used to do, we used to go to the hotel, take our own tiffin box, sambar, this idli, this. Now Swiggy, a lot of waste is created. It's not like we are emulating USA. My preference or my comfort zone has increased. Yes, as long as my comfort zone and my facilities keep on increasing, I will create more waste. So if this continues, I will probably spend the same amount of energy that a US citizen is spending.
So along with this article, along with the environmental impacts, and there is a political agenda behind it because of the aging population of
USA.
and they already is in the situation.
Definitely.
They are the major reasons why they are announcing this carbon neutrality.
See, they have to appear like they are doing something, right? So that is why they are trying it. But if all the planet comes together and spends, well, let's say $1 trillion on technologies, I think world can be more cleaner. It's not a rocket science, right? Within them, they have capitalism. For example, German company should not develop the technology, US company should develop so that I can make more money. So if we keep all these petty issues aside and really work towards a technology for clean cars, so a lot of pollution can be reduced. Yes? Any other questions? Yes, wake up. Those are sleeping. Yeah. Nobody is sleeping? Okay, fine. So this is a definite mains question. These two are mains questions. One is the abortion, applied ethics, and MTP, and carbon neutrality. Definite question. Carbon neutrality is very, very much in the news. So question can be expected on the lines of Paris Agreement. What are the NDC targets? Nationally determined contributions. So what is India doing for the same, or what are the steps taken by India to promote carbon neutrality? We are having one of the largest solar parks anywhere in the world. Yes?
Does this Paris Agreement uphold common but different?
It promotes the climate justice, right? See, Paris Agreement is like a flexible framework. It gives you that luxury to grow at your own pace. There are no obligations. So developed countries and developing countries have different timelines to achieve the Paris Agreement targets. That flexibility is now removed by this carbon neutrality argument. That is the crux. Yes. Any other questions? Oh, I forgot a very beautiful article. For Lok Adalats, it's one of the reasons why you should read newspaper. It has tons of empirical data, very good logical arguments. Now, how many of you know all the provisions of Lok Adalat? If I take Lakshmikant right now and I ask some questions from Lok Adalat chapter, how many of you think you can answer all the questions? Most questions, 75%. 75, please. 75 plus 3.5.
That it's okay, but when coming to this recent changes,
Lok Adalat, the static, what is there in Lakshmikant? If I ask you from Lakshmikant, see again I can't ask you how many cases are solved, right? 1,45,000, 460, 461, 462, 463. That will be state level exam. not UPSC. So if there is something in Lakshmikant, if I ask you from Lok Adalat, will you be able to answer? How many of you have read that article? Okay, if I ask a question from that article, you will be able to answer. For example, there is no further appeal in Lok Adalat. Yes or no? How many of you know? Yes, again it's in Lakshmikant also, if you can read Lakshmikant. So what does that tell you? How many of you have read polity recently? In last 1 month? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 3 months? All of you have read like polity. Then what is the purpose? Okay, so please read this particular article. It's self-explanatory. We will discuss about the value addition tomorrow. Yes? Right. Okay, then see you tomorrow. Thank you.